You may not realize it yet, but the moods of others have been quietly dictating the rhythm of your life, shaping your energy, your decisions, and even the way you see yourself. A harsh word, a dismissive glance, a careless comment, they creep into your mind like shadows, lingering long after the moment has passed, coloring your day with tension you never asked for. Imagine a life where the energy of others no longer has the power to unsettle your inner calm, where your emotional state is determined not by external drama, but by the grounded awareness of your own presence. This is not about shutting people out or feeling numb. It is about reclaiming your sovereignty over your mind and heart. And if you sense the pull toward this freedom, consider subscribing so that these reminders, these gentle nudges back to your center, are always within reach as you navigate the unpredictable rhythms of life. The first truth you must confront is that people cannot control your mood unless you allow them to. Every reaction you have, every twinge of frustration or hurt, is an invitation you extended, often unconsciously, to let their energy flow through you unchecked. The shift begins the moment you recognize that emotional influence is optional. Pause before responding. Take a deep breath. Observe the impact, not as a verdict on your worth, but as a signal to reclaim your own state. In practice, this means naming the feeling as it arises: frustration, irritation, disappointment, sadness. Feel it, acknowledge it, but refuse to let it dictate the movement of your mind or the tone of your voice. In this space, you discover a freedom so subtle and profound that you realize no one can unsettle the calm you cultivate unless you open the door. Yet, the challenge is that this freedom is unfamiliar. For years, your emotional landscape may have been sculpted by the moods of others, leaving patterns that run deep, invisible to the naked eye. Someone's anger triggers your anxiety. Someone's praise dictates your self-worth. Someone's indifference plants doubt. The first exercise is to notice these patterns without judgment, to map the ways in which your energy has been outsourced to others. Each observation is a step towards sovereignty. Over time, practice looking at the moods of others as weather passing across the sky, temporary and external, while your inner climate remains untouched, steady, and luminous. And if you wish to continue strengthening this awareness, subscribing keeps the guidance close, a steady hand when you feel the pull to react. This is more than observation, it is reclamation. Emotional freedom is cultivated in the moments you refuse to mirror negativity, the seconds you choose your own tone over someone else's drama, the minutes you decide to breathe through provocation rather than respond impulsively. Start with small acts. Smile at criticism without absorbing it. Let a dismissive comment slide without internalizing it. Acknowledge frustration without acting on it. These micro-practices accumulate, creating a reservoir of inner stability that sustains you in the presence of conflict or emotional volatility. The more consistently you exercise this choice, the more natural it becomes. The moods of others no longer hold dominion over you. Instead, you stand centered, grounded, and clear, like a lighthouse unshaken by stormy seas. But the story does not end there. True mastery requires cultivating empathy without surrender. Detachment is not coldness, it is presence. You observe the emotional currents of others, recognize their turbulence, and allow compassion to flow without losing your own equilibrium. Every encounter becomes a mirror, not of your fragility, but of your resilience. You may still feel irritation or disappointment, but now it is filtered through awareness, measured and conscious. You respond with clarity rather than reaction, act with integrity rather than impulse, and gradually, others' energy no longer dictates the color of your day. And as you integrate these practices, subscribing becomes a quiet covenant with your own growth, a reminder that your mind and mood are yours to command. There is another layer, subtler but no less vital, the recognition of boundaries. Emotional sovereignty is impossible without clear limits, boundaries that honor your energy, your time, and your well-being. Learning to say no, to step back, to disengage from unnecessary drama is not selfish, it is essential. Every boundary reinforces your sense of self, protecting the calm you have cultivated. Begin by identifying one area in your life where external moods frequently unsettle you. Step back. Observe. Respond consciously. Over time, this practice becomes second nature. You no longer react reflexively to the waves of others' energy, but instead remain anchored in your own internal compass, steady and unwavering. Yet, even with awareness and boundaries, life will continue to present challenges. People will be volatile, moods will be unpredictable, and tension will arise. Here, the deepest power of emotional sovereignty reveals itself, the ability to choose your response before the storm dictates it. This requires mindfulness, patience, and repetition. Pause. Breathe. Feel the rise of the emotion, and let it pass without consumption. Notice the subtle shift as your energy realigns, as your mood is reclaimed, as your day returns to your own rhythm. The power of these moments compounds, transforming ordinary interactions into deliberate exercises in mastery. And as you walk this path, consider how subtly your presence begins to influence others. Calm and measured energy invites calmness. Clarity inspires clarity. Stability fosters stability. By reclaiming your mood, you do more than protect yourself. You become a source of quiet strength in the lives of those around you. People may continue to project, to challenge, to test, but your inner state remains yours. This is the ultimate reward of sovereignty over your emotions. Freedom to live fully, to engage fully, and to act decisively, without being carried by the currents of others. And if these insights resonate, subscribing ensures that this guidance remains at your fingertips, a gentle reminder to anchor yourself in the midst of external turbulence. You have begun to notice the ways others' moods infiltrate your day, and yet, awareness alone is not mastery. True freedom emerges when observation transforms into deliberate practice, when the choice to remain unshaken becomes instinctive rather than aspirational. Consider the invisible threads that tie your emotional state to others. The colleague's sharp tone, a friend's disappointment, a loved one's irritability. Each reaction you once allowed to pull your energy away is now an opportunity for conscious reclamation. Start with one simple exercise. When an emotional ripple arises from someone else, pause before responding. Breathe deeply. Place your attention on your own internal landscape rather than theirs. Notice the difference between feeling something and being controlled by it. The more consistently you do this, the more natural it becomes. Gradually, you are no longer a passenger in the storm but the calm at its center, steady and unmoved, choosing how and when to engage. And for those seeking continuity on this path, subscribing ensures these practices remain within reach, guiding you toward mastery day by day. The second layer of mastery is understanding that emotional influence is as much about identity as it is about circumstance. For years, you may have unconsciously allowed others to define your mood because you believed your sense of self depended on their approval or disapproval. Yet identity is not a reflection of external judgment. It is a product of conscious choice, cultivated moment by moment. Begin to redefine yourself by asking, who am I when no one else's opinion matters? How do I feel when my sense of worth is not tied to external validation? Reflect on these questions daily, and you will notice a subtle shift. Your emotional state becomes a reflection of your values, not their drama. Your reactions become measured, deliberate, and free from the gravitational pull of others' energy. Over time, this internal recalibration transforms not only how you feel but how you move through the world, carrying an aura of calm authority that others instinctively respect. Yet mastery is not only about restraint, it is also about presence. Emotional sovereignty requires engaging fully with the world without absorbing its turbulence. Begin by practicing the art of conscious observation in your daily interactions. When someone expresses anger, disappointment, or even joy, notice it. Label it. Feel it pass through your awareness without letting it determine your inner state. This practice does not make you indifferent, it makes you discerning. You retain compassion and empathy while refusing to be swept away. Each encounter becomes a laboratory for testing your boundaries, refining your responses, and deepening your understanding of both yourself and others. And as you grow in this capacity, consider subscribing so these exercises, these subtle reminders, remain accessible as your life continues to challenge and teach you. Detachment from others' moods also demands the cultivation of clear boundaries. Emotional sovereignty cannot exist where boundaries are porous or undefined. Saying no, stepping back, and protecting your energy are not acts of separation. They are declarations of self-respect. Identify one area in your life where others' energy frequently disrupts your calm. Practice disengaging, not in anger, not in avoidance, but in conscious preservation of your internal state. Notice how the simple act of holding your own space strengthens your sense of presence and deepens your clarity. Over time, this becomes habitual. The moods of others, once capable of dictating the tone of your day, no longer hold power. Instead, your own rhythm sets the pace, steady and sovereign. And as you practice, you will notice a subtle yet profound transformation in your relationships. Where previously tension and reaction dominated interactions, clarity and presence now take root. People respond to your calm with calm, to your clarity with clarity, to your steadiness with steadiness. You are no longer dragged into conflict, no longer manipulated by negativity, no longer subject to emotional turbulence that is not yours to carry. And the beauty of this shift is that it does not require effortful control. It emerges naturally from the discipline of presence and the practice of choosing your response rather than reacting reflexively. Subscribing can serve as a gentle nudge to keep you anchored in this practice, reinforcing the habits that cultivate inner sovereignty even on the busiest, most chaotic days. Yet life will continue to test this mastery. Emotional storms are inevitable, and people will still attempt to draw you into their turbulence. Here, resilience is your ally. Every time you pause, every time you breathe before reacting, every time you return to your center after being provoked, your inner architecture of calm strengthens. Each conscious response reinforces the truth that your mood is yours alone, a sovereign domain that cannot be claimed by anyone else without your consent. Over time, what once required effort becomes effortless, and the practice of emotional independence transforms into a natural rhythm, a silent strength that informs everything you do, every word you speak, every choice you make. Finally, there is the deeper layer, purpose-driven presence. Emotional independence is not merely about resisting influence. It is about reclaiming energy for what truly matters. Each moment previously spent being carried by others' moods can now be directed toward your own growth, your own vision, your own contributions. Begin each day with intention, asking, how will I use my energy today? Where will I place my attention? What will I create from this clarity? Every decision becomes informed by your values. Every interaction becomes guided by conscious choice, and life begins to feel less like a series of battles and more like a deliberate, flowing engagement with reality. This is the ultimate reward of emotional sovereignty: freedom to live fully, to act decisively, and to feel authentically, without surrendering your state to the whims of others. By now, you have begun to notice the influence others' moods once held over you, and you have practiced pausing, observing, and reclaiming your emotional state. But mastery is not merely about isolated moments of awareness. It is about weaving this sovereignty into the very fabric of your life, until it becomes instinctive, effortless, and unshakable. Imagine walking into any room, facing any challenge, engaging with any person, and feeling an unbroken calm within. This is not an imagined ideal. It is attainable, one deliberate act of presence at a time. The world will continue to present challenges, yet your internal climate becomes independent of circumstance, guided by your choices rather than the turbulence of others. And as you carry this journey forward, subscribing is more than a convenience. It is a commitment to sustaining your practice, a gentle reminder to anchor your energy in moments when distraction or drama threatens to draw you away. Integration begins with reflection and intention. Each day, ask yourself, which moments did I allow others' moods to influence me, and how can I respond differently next time? Notice the patterns, the triggers, the subtle ways energy once slipped from your control. Then consciously redirect it. Let awareness become practice, and practice become habit. Over time, The distinction between response and reaction blurs. Your natural state aligns with clarity, presence, and calm. You will begin to notice a profound shift not only in your internal experience, but in your interactions with others. People respond differently to you, not because you demand it, but because your presence sets a new tone. Your calm radiates, your clarity guides, your energy inspires. The more consistently you practice, the more this becomes the default rhythm of your life. Yet mastery is also about resilience in the face of unpredictability. People will test boundaries, moods will fluctuate, and circumstances will remain uncontrollable. Here, the subtle art of sovereignty becomes crucial. To feel fully without losing your center, to engage without being carried, to act without surrendering your mood. Each setback is not failure, but a prompt to return to practice, a reminder of the conscious choice you possess at every moment. Pause. Breathe. Observe. Let the wave pass without absorption. Every act of measured presence reinforces the architecture of calm you have been building. Eventually, what once felt effortful becomes effortless. You no longer bend to the tides of others' emotions. Instead, you navigate them with grace, awareness, and intention. And for those committed to maintaining this practice, subscribing ensures a steady stream of guidance, keeping these principles alive in your daily life. There is also the transformative power of empathy paired with detachment. Emotional independence is not about shutting down to others' feelings. It is about engaging with compassion while retaining your equilibrium. You can recognize the struggles, anger, or sorrow of another without allowing their energy to dictate your state. This is a subtle but profound distinction. Caring without absorbing, understanding without internalizing, supporting without surrendering. Every interaction becomes an opportunity to exercise this balance, refining the art of influence without control, presence without possession. Over time, this skill reshapes not only your experience but the dynamics around you, as your steady energy becomes a beacon in moments of turbulence. Integration deepens further when you channel your reclaimed energy toward purpose. Time and attention previously spent reacting impulsively to others' moods can now be directed toward creation, growth, and contribution. Begin each day intentionally. Where will I place my energy today? Which actions reflect my values? How will I engage fully while remaining sovereign over my mood? As this becomes a daily rhythm, life transforms from reactive chaos into deliberate flow. Each decision, each interaction, each thought aligns with your higher self, reinforcing a sense of mastery, freedom, and intentional living. Emotional independence, therefore, is not a shield but a lever, lifting your life into clarity, focus, and authenticity. And yet, even mastery requires humility. There will always be unexpected currents, moments when old patterns threaten to reassert themselves. The difference now is your response. Pause. Observe. Reclaim. Respond deliberately rather than react reflexively. Each return to your center strengthens your resilience, deepens your awareness, and expands your freedom. Over time, what once felt challenging becomes effortless. Emotional independence ceases to be a practice. It becomes the natural rhythm of your life, woven into every breath, every decision, and every interaction. You are no longer at the mercy of others. You are anchored in your own sovereign presence. Finally, let this practice extend outward, influencing not just your internal state, but your environment. Your calm becomes contagious, your clarity draws clarity, your presence inspires presence. Without force, without control, without effortful correction, you become a stabilizing energy in your circles, subtly guiding others toward reflection and awareness simply through the strength of your own grounded state. And as you carry this forward, subscribing becomes more than a gesture. It becomes a commitment to continual alignment with your purpose, a reminder that freedom, clarity, and calm are always within reach, waiting for you to step fully into them. Take a deep breath now, and let this truth settle into your mind, body, and spirit. Your mood is yours alone. No one can claim it without your consent. Your energy is sovereign, your presence deliberate, your inner state unshakable. Life will continue to present challenges, People will continue to express volatility, and circumstances will continue to shift. Yet you are no longer at their mercy. You are the calm in the storm, the observer in the chaos, the architect of your own emotional landscape. Take this message into your next breath, into your next choice, into your next interaction. Carry it with you as a compass, a shield, and a guide, and allow your life to reflect the sovereignty you have reclaimed. Rise with awareness. Rise with clarity. Rise unshaken. Let every interaction honor your inner state. Let every choice reflect your higher self. And let every moment of conscious presence reinforce the freedom you have fought to reclaim. The world will continue to shift, but you, anchored, sovereign, deliberate, will remain steady. Your mood is yours. Your energy is yours. Your life is yours. And the more consistently you claim this, the more you live not as a passenger in the storm, but as the calm that guides it.